like to have Roy Keane on the team for his determination. Brunette. For some reason I don't put on my helmet till the start of a match. Boxers. Breakfast. I eat Weetabix. The Killers. I don't know what to answer that one, actually. Sorry. Losing the All-Ireland last year to Cork. Hyundai Aston was the first car I bought. Michael Lyng did me a good deal in Kilkenny. Burial, cremation, sounds a bit tough. Maradona, because he beat England in '86 on his own. Hitch, yeah, it wasn't a bad film. I like to swim and read a little bit for relaxation. John Hine is probably the biggest joker on the team. His nickname is Dougal, so that explains it. DJ Carey, of course.
Right. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about today's games. In particular, sharp observers of our cardboard cutouts each week will have realised that we had Eugene Clunan as our Galway man, but he's not in Croke Park today. And you're a club mate of his. Is there much upset and unrest in Galway about the fact that he's not in the panel even?
Well, I suppose there's a bit of upset in Galway, of course, because you know, Eugene Clunan is one of the top forwards in the county for sure, and if not the country. You know, like he can take penalties, he takes frees. He's one of the best forwards around. You know, so like I can tell you one thing, that we're playing club hurling at the moment, and he's one forward that I'd want before any other forward on my team anyway.
He should be in the starting 15 would be your argument here.
Well, you know, it's my opinion, and I might be a bit biased because I be from Athenry and everything, but like the fact that Eugene Clunan is not up here playing Kilkenny in an All-Ireland semi-final, it's in my view, it's crazy, you know. And even talking to Adrian, they was asking me where is DJ or where is Eugene, and not alone Eugene, but Diarmuid, his brother. Like,
yeah. Last
year in the All-Ireland qualifiers with Kilkenny, Diarmuid was the only one that stood out in the whole game, you know. So yeah. Like the two of them, you know, I'd be there, I'd be hearing different stories, like, but okay. You know, it's very hard to comment on it, really. Yeah,
I'll ask you about what impact it's going to have on the actual game itself today, but it's time for you to prove that you're the best man on the couch. So another drum roll, please.
Hello, Joe. You're very welcome to the Parklife Skills Challenge. I hope you've been in training now the last couple of weeks for this,
no, myself and Adrian were out here a while ago now, so we just see.
That's good.
First time I hit the red, so.
Oh, well, hopefully you'll be able to repeat that now. Let's see what you're up against. Starting off at the bottom is Mark Landers. Working our way up, we have our Galway trio. Now, you're the fourth Galway man to take part in the Skills Challenge, but you're the first to go solo. They got 15. Here we have 21, 24, which Adrian got today, on up to 34. James O'Connor is still up there. Is anyone going to knock him off that top spot?
Well, we'll see. I'm not so bad. Pete Finnerty anyway there. I see from go. It was always good to take a pint.
Well, let's see how we go. Now, there's not much room for high fielding in here. Hope you don't cramp your style. But you've got 45 seconds on the clock.
Okay.
You know the rules. I'm going to get well out of your way here now because you look like you're a man on the mission. So, hey Joe, for the pride of Athenry, go for it. That was looking good, but keep it a bit lower. That's another blue. That's a nice and safe one. Okay, 25 seconds left, Joe. Okay, you're on 10 points. 20 seconds left. And you've got 15 seconds left. Come on, you're on 12. Get another one of those reds, Joe. Come on, you did it earlier. bad. You're not at the bottom.
Yeah,
Any broken bones? How are you doing?
No,
are you
I'm
okay?
fine, I'm fine.
Okay, well, we had the paramedics on standby, so it's okay. It's all clear. Ambulance can go away. Now, Joe, you've gotten 14 points. So Mark Landers, if you're watching, I'm sure you're delighted.
Yeah.
You're down there with him. Now, and I had a tenner on with Joe, or with Ger today that you were going to win. What am I going to do?
Well, you have to give him the tenner, I'm afraid.
Go on in and sit down and take a break. Well done,
Okay,
Joe.
thank you. Oh my God.
We were just saying that you were much better in rehearsal. What happened?
Oh, I hit the upright a couple of times.
I think I put the pressure on him.
He got 24 there. I was expecting him to get nothing. A couple of pints last night.
All right, I've got to ask you about today's game. There's been a certain nervousness about, well, maybe not nervousness, but difference in how Kilkenny have prepared for this game. Keeping the fans out from Nolan Park, bringing the players up to Dublin. Is it just more professionalism or is it nervousness?
No, I think Kilkenny, to be fair, haven't been firing on all cylinders in the last 2 or 3 games. This Kilkenny team, supporters, nothing. We're going nine semi-finals in a row, going for 7 All-Irelands appearances in a row. Like, I mean, just a tremendous team. They owe nothing to nobody. Brian Cody, obviously, and the management team decided that they needed a little bit of time to themselves and more focus. And in fairness, I've been in at 1 or 2 of the training sessions in recent times, and while the supporters are excellent, Kilkenny supporters are excellent, it has been a little bit like a circus in there as regards every score was being clapped, and it's a little bit off. So they've been more focused, hopefully, I'd say. Okay,
all right, the lads are staying with us and we'll get their final predictions before the programme is out, but Mairead is standing by in the museum with some more cool old stuff.
Well, John was in touch from Limerick to say that Kilkenny are a team on the slide. If Galway take an early lead, they can take advantage. Also, Paul and Athenry reckons that Galway have to show a bit of conviction today. If they do, then they have the players to go all the way. Well, some people giving Galway a bit of a chance today, but Kilkenny still are hot favourites. Just a couple of hours' time, we'll see. Now, it's not an easy job to predict the outcome of next Saturday's replay between Dublin and Tyrone. But if Dublin do win, they'll go on to meet Armagh in the semi-finals. And things will be very different to when those two teams met back in the 1976 final. And now we're not just talking dressing room access and fashion sense here. Back in those days, Ulster teams didn't quite have the same swagger when they came to Croke Park.
And here it is, the Sam Maguire Cup is back in Dublin for a 2nd year. Tony Hanahoe, the captain, was an anti-climax, Tony.
No, indeed, it was not, Mick. I wasn't satisfied, or I didn't relax until the last whistle went.
I'd like to say to Armagh, hard luck. It must be hard coming up the first time and being beaten by so much, but they should take encouragement. They've shown great guts throughout the campaign, and I'm sure they'll be back again in the near future.
I think they shouldn't be disheartened. We lost after winning one and had to come back again.
But Dublin were the exceptions to that rule.
Well, we like to think we're the exceptions to all rules.
The excitement was fantastic, even in the training sessions on the week prior to the All-Ireland final. It was most enjoyable and something to be remembered forever.
This, I suppose, could really be the David and Goliath of modern football.
I faintly remember the canal end where it was just a sea of saffron when we came out, but again, we could get comfort by looking up the far end and looking at the hill.
To take the free for Armagh.
We got a free kick and I kicked it straight out the centre of the field. Bad kick, unfortunately, and it went straight to Brian Mullins.
The game had only started. Brian got the ball and he kicked it into the corner in towards the hill 16 for myself. I was in there with Tom McCreesh. Now Tom was in front of me and Tom gathered the ball, but I'd say because it was a greasy ball, he dropped it.
I slipped and let it fall, and it's history since then.
So I picked the ball up and I looked over at the goal, and I was at a very acute angle, so I decided to go for point. But luckily for me, Brian McLinden had come off his line. I underkicked the ball, went over Brian's head into the corner of the net, and it was a goal.
Oh, what a goal! What a goal by Jimmy Keaveney!
I never discussed it with Jimmy. While Jimmy is a very good friend of mine and I know him extremely well and know him going back to the early 60s, you know what I mean, it wasn't a sort of a daunting task to me to be playing against Jimmy Keaveney on the day, but I don't have a feel that he thought he could score a goal from the angle at which he was at. Like,
it was a complete fluke, but as I say, I got about 20 years good mileage out of that.
About a minute and a half gone on the game, and Jimmy Keaveney sending that one in from a most awkward position. What an
That's the one, lads, that'll do it.
You have that part, have you?
It took a long time before the truth came out.
What an expensive defensive skill that was by Tom McCready.
For a long, long time after, I can remember I got it very difficult to move out, but a few of my good friends rang me up and sort of told me like that it was just a game and forget about it. And I suppose they felt I was entitled to one mistake.
Once it came to half-time, the second half started, I knew we weren't in any danger of getting caught that day. We won quite comfortably in the end.
The Dubliner everywhere. This time it's Bernard Rohan, and now it's Brian Mullins, and now it's Jimmy Keaveney, and another goal!
It certainly was the biggest disappointment. I don't know, do many people realise what it's like to get beaten in an All-Ireland final. And I can always remember, you know what I mean, the sadness and the grief when the final whistle goes and you suddenly realise that your dream of a lifetime has been lost.
Jimmy Keaveney, with a total of 2 goals and 6 points, has set a new personal record in an All-Ireland final.
My own father, God be good to him, was at the match. He was a Belfast man, and he had my wife there, who was a Cavan woman, and my eldest daughter, who was only a little tot at the time. So I made arrangements, said after the game, Dad said, look, win or lose, I'll go up to his local pub was the Comer up in Santry. So I'll go up there and have a pint with you after the match. Parked my car, you know, when my father was there, I got a few friends of his, and they were all saying, well done, Jimmy, congratulations to you. So I look around, and I see the missus in the corner with my little daughter. She's an Armagh Hatner. The daughter has a little Armagh flag. Now, you imagine how I felt.
Here's Jimmy Keaveney, the man who made All-Ireland history today.
I just let her roll. What the hell is your game? Well, she says, it'd be nice to see somebody else when you've won a few already yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got to ask you both.